I see magic as the act of interacting with our own consciousness. I believe that before we understood what our consciousness was, along with Julian Jaynes, I believe that the voices in our heads, we wouldn't have known that that was us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a concept of mind.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a concept of dreams. The most logical way to interpret all of these things was a magical or shamanic worldview.
Yeah.
And that was not necessarily wrong. It was simply talking about a different level of experience. This is the main thing about magic, is that science is the most beautiful and elegant tool that we have ever created for examining the material world around us.
Yeah.
Science cannot examine our consciousness because our consciousness is made up of things which are not repeatable in laboratory conditions.
Yeah, of course.
So science cannot and should not. Yes, it can map the areas of neural response in our brains when we're doing a certain thing, but that, of course, tells us nothing about the processes of thought.
Yeah, yeah.
They're two different worlds. I believe that there is the material world and there is the world of our ideas. And I'd say that we tend to think of the material world, that's the real world.
Yeah.
No, they're both real.
Yeah, completely.
Our thoughts are real. They're just not material. Now, in terms of how dreams fit in with all this, I'd say that, are you familiar with the phenomenon of lucid dreams?
Yes, yes.
In a lucid dream, you suddenly wake up within the dream and are aware that it is a dream, and thus become aware that you can control it,
Yeah.
that it is all a product of you,
Yeah.
and that it is malleable, that can be shaped by your will.
I mean, the times I've ever come close to that, as soon as I've had any awareness that I'm in a dream, it's when I've then snapped out of it and woken up. So I guess it's being able to take in that information.
And also to sustain that state,
Yeah.
which is difficult and takes some practice.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be some sort of sensor mechanism almost in the brain that tries to trick you out of it.
To pull you straight away, yeah.
But it's very rewarding if you can get through that. Now, why I see that fitting in is that is true. If you can wake up in your dream and realise this is a dream, then you can take control of the dream.
Yeah.
I think that is true in terms of our normal waking life.
Sure.
That to a certain degree, all of us are living in a kind of sleep. We are bombarded by the culture around us. We are lulled into a kind of a complacent waking dream. Realising yourself, whether you want to call that magic or whatever you want to call it, realising yourself as a person, as an individual, as an identity, that is like waking up.
Yeah.
And you realise that, yeah, actually, this very solid world around us, that's a dream too. As we were just saying. That all started out in somebody's mind.
Yeah, completely.
This is all a more viscous dream. It's sort of, if in a lucid dream you decide that when I turn that corner, there's going to be a brilliant mansion there and it's all going to be mine. Now, in lucid dream, that can happen. You can do that. You'll turn the corner and there'll be your beautiful mansion.
Yeah.
That can be done in the physical world as well. It just takes a lot longer.
Yeah, yeah.
But the two worlds are very, very similar.
Yeah.
And when you wake up in them, then you can have a certain agency. You can actually affect and, you can impose your own will, your own self upon the dream stuff around you, which is surely what every human being should have the chance to do.
Yeah. If undistracted, more would hopefully have that as their wish and wish to, do what they want to do.
This is the aim, surely, of all responsible art. And is the aim of all responsible magic. Mm-hmm. It's all about illumination, isn't it? It's all about putting the lights on and seeing where we are, trying to dispel some of this miasma of nonsense and irrelevance that we're surrounded by, and actually see what our situation is.
Yeah.
Putting the lights on. Yeah, magic, art, all of those things. That's what they're for.